Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Tempest Stage with doing part 2 of what if Naruto was full Uzumaki. Where we left off, they're about to do the Land of Waves arc. Let's get right into it. And they were walking out of the village at this point. Naruto, with his sensory abilities, immediately noticed the two Chunin level ninjas hiding in the puddles, but he did nothing. He wants to test the abilities of his Genin, because he didn't really know how to test their abilities without crushing them. So he wanted two Chunin, which seemed pretty, Chunins, to see if their Genin were qualified enough for him to teach them. And so and then Kakashi got attacked, and he did the thing. Naruto got attacked, and then he did the same thing Kakashi did, where they both pretending they died, they were leaving the three getting to defend themselves, but still looking in the shadows just in case anything happened. And as they were fighting, Kiba and Sasuke just, started fighting with the two, and they got scratched up and everything, but and cuts and bruises, and they got some pain. They did get some poison, stuff like that. But and anything then instead of that, everything was fine. And they took down the two twin brothers, but Sasuke and Kiba were feeling a little woozy from the poison, if I remember correctly. And Naruto just he didn't want to show them if they bit him, they could heal the chakra and they would be fine. So he didn't do this. And the only reason he didn't do this is because he knows a bit of medical jujutsu, enough for them to heal them and not needing to go back to the village. And so Naruto gets down from the tree he was hiding in, and he heals them as fast as he could, so the poison doesn't spread. And luckily, Naruto was enough with his minor learning of his medical jujutsu. They were fine. And so they continued the mission. Kakashi asked, what were those people and why were they after him? And he said he wanted to, and Tazuna said his whole backstory about that Gato and his village was poor and all of that. And then Naruto sent a presence, throwing a kunai. Yes, throwing a kunai and hitting a white rabbit, which he felt really bad about. He was certain that it was a presence. 100% certain it was a presence. He knew he had to watch out now. Now he was on high alert. And so then, Naruto still focusing, and then he sensed the presence. He was hiding pretty well, but as he focused more and more, Naruto always had a good sensory ability, and if you weren't good at hiding your presence, you wouldn't be spotted immediately. But he always had like 10% of his perception always on. But now that he focused, he had it at 100%, sensing the ninja that he couldn't sense before. And then he said duck before the mist even appeared, before the blade was even thrown. Just he said before, and the blade before Kakashi could say duck, Naruto said duck, and they all ducked. And then Sabuza was on top of that blade. Naruto was thinking that he could take him, but Kakashi got him first. So Kakashi told him, "When you look after the Geni," and Naruto was he didn't really want to do it. He didn't want to do it, but he did it because he knew that he had to protect the people who couldn't protect themselves. And so he just watched as Kakashi got beaten up, and not beaten up. And then as he was fighting, and then Kakashi got trapped in the water prison. And Naruto just said, "You guys stay here and don't just protect the client." And so he rushed to the battle, pulling out his chakra chains, wrapping them around his fist, so when he hit Zabuza, they would wrap around him. So he started fighting Zabuza, and before Zabuza could even notice, the chains were around his fist, unable for him to throw a punch. And then Kakashi, and that was just a water clone. But and then the shadow clone went against the water clone. The real Naruto was behind Zabuza, using his chakra chains. He started choking him, making sure Kakashi let go. He was thinking about using his sword to cut off his head, but he wanted to get some information out of him, and the only way to do that was to not kill him. And so he just started choking him, and he got set free because Naruto's still 12 years old, even though he's stronger, a lot stronger than, the Genin over there. He still was 12 years old, meaning his body wasn't fully matured, making Zabuza physically stronger than him, making able him to break free, not break the chains, but escape the chains. And you gotta say Naruto didn't really focus on his taijutsu. He was good at almost anything, but he didn't train hard on his taijutsu. He trained hard in his chakra control, in his ninjutsu, genjutsus. He trained on all that, except he didn't train a lot on taijutsu. He thought with his he did practice it with Kakashi. Kakashi was pretty good at it, not as good as Might Guy, but he didn't do anything. He just learned the basics, how to the technique. He didn't do anything physical. Like, he didn't pick up anything heavy. He did climb a mountain, which was pretty interesting. Okay, enough of me rambling it on. Unless you want me to ramble on, then I'll continue. Leave a comment down below, and like and subscribe. Leave the subscribers. Okay, then, where was that? Oh, yes. Then, Zabuza escaped, but Kakashi escaped too. Naruto was about to go again, and Kakashi just put on his hand, signaling that he got this. Kakashi activated, his Sharingan. Not, took out his Sharingan, and he just did the same thing in canon. And Naruto didn't want Kakashi to do this. Kakashi was like a brother, or father figure, I should say. Yeah, sort of a father figure. Like, more like a brother. Yeah, more like a brother to Naruto. Because, since he was Naruto's father, they felt like a kinship. They were like brothers. Kakashi didn't want his brother, quote unquote, to get hurt, so he exhausted himself, and he did take out Zabuza. But then Haku came in and, you know, pretended to kill him. But Naruto barely noticed with his high perception skills, that he wasn't dead. But he noticed that Kakashi was unconscious, he would barely be able to stand, much less fight. And the getting over there were practically useless, and so he didn't want to take the chance. He knew he could beat that. He had a sort of confidence that he could beat the masked Boo, quote unquote. So, but he didn't want to take the chance. So just picked up Kakashi, let the Ambu Haku, which in this version is a girl. Haku is not a he. He is a she now. Okay, this is gonna be relevant to plot later on to story. Okay, then so Tazuna offers them to able to stay in their home. They get back, and Kakashi's still in rest, and Inari says that he has the worst life, yada yada yada, something that being spoiled and stuff like that. No, she didn't. No, wait a minute. But before this, Kakashi got up, and he trained, he trained them, and then they get back, and the thing I was talking about, Nora says he had the worst life ever, and that his parent died, yeah. And Naruto didn't say anything much, but he did let out a sort of bloodlust, which was anger coming from the Nine Tails. Yes, Naruto and the Nine Tails do have a sort of relationship. It's it wasn't a good relationship. Naruto just let Ninetales he didn't let him control him, but he did let the Ninetales chakra flow through him if needed. So he didn't reject the chakra. He embraced it, but he didn't embrace the anger. He tried to control it, which was pretty difficult, and he still couldn't do it. He still couldn't control the anger that seeped out of the chakra. More anger, making him deadlier, more bloodthirsty, which he didn't like, so he didn't use it, and only Kakashi no Third knew that he could channel the power of the Nine Tails. But this took a lot of concentration and hard work to do that. But then Naruto at one point had enough and said, shut up, kid. You don't know anything about pain and suffering. And so Naruto just walks off. And Kiba didn't know Naruto's life story because he was in the academy for like three couple months, and Naruto was still quiet, so he didn't say much. And so and then Kiba asked Kakashi what you know what what happened to his life. And Kakashi said that's not my story to tell. And to just be clear, the training they did was learn how to tree walk. Yes. Kiba did it took forever. It was Sakura did the same thing. Okay. And then Naruto walked to the forest to train more and on a jutsu that Lord Third gave him before he left to the mission. It was the Flying Thunder God, and Lord Third. The only reason Lord Third gave him this jutsu was because he resembled his father in skill and not the way he acted. He acted differently, but he thought it would be a good fit for him. So he gave him he wrote it down on the scroll and gave it to Naruto. Naruto was just looking at it and he read through it that he needed some scroll, he needed something to on a kunai or something like that. So gets one of his kunai, gets a piece of paper and does a seal, which was he the seal said there was three things on it. It was trust, loyalty, friendship. No, love. Instead of friendship, love. Those were the three things he wrote on it. And then at first he took a massive amount of chakra to do it, just to teleport a bit far away. But as more he practiced, the better he got at it. And by the time it was almost 75%, by the time it was 75% better, he exhausted all his chakra, which he had a lot of. Like twice as much, twice, maybe even more than the original canon, because he is full uzumaki this time. And so he woke up and there was Haku, which in this thing is a girl. And then Haku told Naruto about how if you have something to protect, you are stronger. And Naruto didn't, believe her. But he had a nagging feeling in the back of his head thinking that she might have a point. Naruto had two things. He had like a good and a bad side. One was very optimistic, the other one was very pessimistic. Pessimistic ruled over 80% of his mind. The optimistic ruled 20% of it. Because he had a bad life, the pessimistic took over most of the 30% of the optimistic, which made Naruto a bit not depressed, but gloomy a little, calmer and stuff like that. And so, Haku walked off and they became good friends. They talked a bit more and saying, their past experiences. And Haku started first saying how he was treated badly in his village and he didn't say the reason, but just said he was treated badly. Naruto also said he was treated badly. Didn't say why he was treated badly. So no one told him, but they related and they became not really good friends, but they had a really relationship. Like we understand each other and we might become friends in if we had more time spending together. But Naruto knew that he had to get back, and he said goodbye and went back to where Kakashi was, but he didn't see them, and he went back and said hi to Kakashi and everyone, and then he was calmed down and he ate breakfast. I was there. And so he asked Kakashi if he could teach him some new jutsus, and Kakashi obliged and taught him some new jutsus, which were mainly focused on wind and earth, which were mainly focused on lightning and earth, which he didn't have. They focused on those because he had a lot of jutsus on his three chakra natures. They focused on those for a day or two, and then that was time for and then he was tired after all that, so he slept. And when he woke up, Kakashi and the others weren't there. They noticed, and then someone was there to say. He noticed him screaming, and it was Inari and his mother attacking by goons, and Naruto just killed him with his blade, sliced their head off. and said that you're okay now. And then they are heroes in this world, but they are hard to find, and you can't waste your time looking for a hero. You have to become a hero yourself. And so this made Inari motivational and optimistic again. Naruto ran to the bridge, seeing that that Kakashi was going on a fight with Zabuza, and then that Kiba and Sasuke were a fight with the masked Dambu. And while this was happening, Gato was walking up with his men, thinking in his head that I know this is just because we need Naruto to do something, because there's 5 people on this team, so Naruto needs to do something. Sakura is useless, so but we're gonna count 5. But Sakura doesn't even count. Only goal was 4. Okay, then and then Gato's men got there, and Gato's thinking, they're all exhausted. We'll wait, and once they're all exhausted, we'll come in and kill them all. And that's what he was thinking. Zabuza didn't. Zabuza thought he could handle them afterwards or something like that. I don't know. Zabuza wasn't even thinking. He was too focused fighting Kakashi. And so Naruto not was thinking about helping Sasuke and Kiba, but he thought that it didn't matter that if they won that fight, if they were exhausted, he had to take care of that threat that could be more, bad in the long run. So he body flickered in front of Gato men at the behind him. Gato's men just started slicing them. No real problem. Zabuza did this with a kunai. He killed like I don't know how many. So was Naruto, who's Jonin rank, maybe even higher than Kakashi, better than Kakashi, but he's only 12 years old and he's still learning with a blade. And when that's not injured, I think he could take all their men. And like 2 minutes, I want to say 5 minutes later, the last man was Naruto, and he was saying that I'll give you anything. And Naruto was anything. Naruto said yes, and Naruto just said, "Give me all your money. This is a robbery." No, he got to offered all his money, and Naruto just accepted it, saying that I'll give you 10 minutes to run away, and if you're not gone by then, I will kill you. So he let Gato run because he didn't think he was much of a threat, and Gato gave him all his money, and then he noticed that Sasuke and Kiba were barely holding on, so his body flickered through. He wasn't about to waste chakra on a technique which wasn't even mastered yet, the flying Raijin. And so he bought a flicker inside the glass, and he used a giant fireball, which used like 10% of his chakra, massive fireballs, and hit Haku because no matter how fast Haku is, the the radius of a giant fireball, you can't fireball that's bigger than the radius of the ice surface. You can't dodge that. It did burn Sasuke and Kiba a bit, but it burned Haku much more. And when Haku just landed on the floor, Naruto saw her figure, and he figured out who the Abu was, and he said Haku. And Haku just turned away. Naruto took off her mask and saw her face. And Naruto was a bit mad and sad at the same. He was I don't know. I don't even know how to combine those words. He was mad and sad, and a bit betrayed. But he knew that Zabuza was an important person that Haku was talking about, so he didn't feel that. So he just wasn't as hurt. He didn't have it. He could have killed her, but he didn't want to. She was one of the few friends that he had. He didn't consider Sasuke or Kiba Sakura as friends. He considered Gaara, Kashi, Lord Third, Asuma, Konohamaru. Those were real friends. And the people at Orochi, the ramen place, Orochi, Shimaku Ramen, I don't even know. Shimaku Ramen, Sorry about that. I am bad in memory. Sorry, please forgive me. Like and subscribe. Shameless plug. Okay, then and so he turned his Zabuza, and Saku turned to Saba. She was about to sacrifice herself for Zabuza, and then Naruto screamed, "Don't do it, Kakashi! Don't do it!" And then Kakashi, in hesitation, didn't kill Zabuza, and and then Kakashi just looked, and Kakashi asked for Naruto, why did you tell me to stop? And Naruto said that these people were just trying to do the right thing. We were trying to break the thing of the hidden myth, the bloody hidden mist. And so Kakashi, Naruto, Haku, Zabuza, and Kakashi made a deal. They didn't cause any more trouble to this village, to this place that they would be able to set free as long as they didn't do anything to the hidden leaf. And then if they ever needed their servant, and if they ever needed them help, if they ever needed Zabuza's and Haku's help, they would come, and they would come to their rescue and help. And so that's the deal they made, and Naruto just healed Zabuza's injuries to the best of his abilities, which he felt that they weren't very good. So he said, so in the back of his mind said, I had to learn some medical jutsu. I had to practice my medical jutsu more. And so they got back to the village, and Kashi explained about the Chunin exams to Sasuke, Kiba, and Sakura. And Sakura being Sakura, just like she wasn't all about it, but Sasuke-kun said yes, so she said yes. And and Naruto asked Kashi if he could have a leave of absence for the remainder of this time, and said he will come back before the ending of the tuning exams, because Lord Third had told him that he found a map that could lead him to the whirlpool, and he wasn't about to say no, so he was about to go on a mission only for him, that he was supposed to like find seals and stuff like that. And so he goes to the Hokage, to his adopted father's office. The Hokage gives him the scroll, and Naruto's eyes light up, knowing that if he found the library of the library in Whirlpool, he could learn many seal techniques and all that. And he brought some scrolls and things so he could lock up all the books, since he didn't think he could read all of them in such a short time. He was gonna collect them, and so he set off. And a week later, he found it. He found Whirlpool. He walked into what seemed like a barrier type thing, and he was in the 2 days has passed. A day, like 3 hours have passed by. Naruto woke up in this huge library, thousands upon thousands of books just everywhere. And he summoned shadow clones, got the scrolls, and they all just started getting every book they could find. And then let's say he brought some food with him, so he started eating. After a couple hours, he started eating lunch, and then by that time, half of the library had been already taken. He had some books read. He already had some books reading, learning about some sealing techniques that could seal someone's chakra, which could come in handy. That could come real in handy. He also found some other seal techniques. And then couple hours later, let's say 4, he's been awake for like almost a full day, but he wanted to get back to the village as soon as possible. But there were just so many books. He had 50% of it. He had 50% of them, done. But that was only the first of the thing. That was only the first quarter. There were many libraries inside one huge. There was many books. Okay, he was like, in estimation, it would take him, if he just started saying all the books and scrolls, it would take him at least 10 days to finish, to get every single one. But and then time skip, 10 days have gone by, and was about to be the last book as he noticed something. He grabbed the book and he just passed out. He saw he saw the he saw the first Kage of the whirlpool, I think. I don't know if you remember his name. And this comes from Anime Chunky, I think. Yeah, shout out to him. I should ask for permission for this, but if he doesn't like it, I'll take it down. And so the first leader of the whirlpool contacted him and saying that was impressed by how he could find this library and that his blood limit was 95%, which was pretty high for half for which was one of the last uzumakis. And so uh and so the first little leader of whirlpool just started talking about that and talking about a secret room inside the library which had forbidden seals that could come in great handy, and a unique summon that could come real helpful fighting strong, that could come in handy fighting many enemies at the same time, or just one very powerful enemy. And Naruto was intrigued by this, and then and before the first leader of the whirlpool said, "Your destiny is something great and something to behold." And so he spent 2 days looking for and he finally found the scroll, the hidden scroll. And he didn't want to put this in any scroll. He just wrapped it around his back, and he saw another scroll in the bottom. It was a summoning scroll. It was a real scroll with all the techniques. He thought the big one was the hidden techniques, but the one he had was the one with the summoning. It was a phoenix summoning, actually. Yes, a phoenix summoning, and he cut himself and put his hand on it and made a contract, and that was it. And he saw this small scroll, and he was puzzled that could that scroll that small scroll had many powerful jutsu that could come in handy. He didn't believe it, but as he opened it, he saw in small handwriting, he could see many jutsus on it that were forbidden because it took out a lot of chakra, even for the Uzumakis who had a lot of chakra. And so he went back to the village, and it's been like a month and a half, and he got back as everything happened as to canon for the thing. Luckily still challenged Sasuke, and Kiba and Sakura got trapped in the Genjutsu, but no, Sasuke didn't. He unlocked the Sharingan, just the first to Tomoe them. Okay, back to Naruto. He was getting back to the village. At this point, the 1 month training period had already passed on, and the fighting was about to begin. It was a bit different actually, because Naruto wasn't there. Someone else replaced his place. Kiba actually is going up against Neji, and the rest of the fight score is the same. Sasuke still going against Gaara and all that. Sasuke still made that flashy entrance. The first match was Neji and Kiba, which Kiba got destroyed. I pity the man. Just got destroyed. Couldn't even lay a single hand on Neji. But and then he's noticed that Kiba was unusually mad, and then he asked Kiba why was he so mad on Neji, and then Kiba explained that he almost killed Hinata, and Naruto was feeling a bit enraged by this. If he was there, he could have protected Hinata. He had a bit of feelings again with Hinata. She was one of the few people that never treated him as a monster, and she was always there behind him, just one step away. And so he felt enraged by this. He knew he couldn't do anything just yet. He couldn't tamper with the Chunin exams, but after he made a plan, after the Chunin exams was over, he would take his revenge. And so now it's time for the other matches happen the same. Now it's time for Sasuke's fight. That happens differently. She is stronger in this one. He practiced Naruto a lot, making him even better. He was more in shape than his canon counterpart. He was stronger, meaning that he taught Sasuke more. Sasuke was stronger, and when he went to use his Chidori, it didn't spill just a bit of blood. It spilled more than just a little, meaning making Gar transform into that monster right there in the spot. And then that had become the start of Konoha Crush, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. Thank you for watching. This was Tempest Sage signing off.